Hi, welcome to my channel Jarane Adda. So we have started discussing about EMT. In the previous lecture, we have started discussing about the radar and the wave propagation. So today we are going to discuss about the new topic which is very important for all the competitive exam. We will discuss about optical communication, optical fiber communication. So this optical fiber communication also very important for all the competitive exams like GATE, ESC, BARB and ISRO and for PSU interviews. It will be way more because this technology has improving, developing day by day. So this topic is very much important for all competitive exams. And most of the questions will be asked during a technical interview when we are going for a PSUs, and also the most focused topic for BARC and ISRO competitive exams also. So because of this optical fiber communication, which is a last topic of EMT, the most of the people will skip this subject because they don't find a sync with other topics. So most of the people skip. So when I want to start the EMT theory, so many have asked me to start EMT theory. So before starting EMT, I want to start this subject so that people will try to learn the important concept initially, so that they can get a good rank, a good score, and they will get a good concept with a less amount of time. So today we are going to discuss about the optical fiber communication. So optical fiber communication is increasing day by day, the rapidly increasing, because when I compare the communication, the optical communication with a conventional communication where we are using copper cable, twisted cables, where we have what made the fiber optics to overcome those challenges, because the conventional twisted cables those cables have some losses. When I transmit the signal to a large distance, we will having many losses in the signal, and we are not able to transmit the information for a long distance with an expected bit rate, where we have limited with the bit rate because of using that conventional system. So because of limitations, also the bandwidth of that conventional communication system have a bandwidth limitations. To overcome that, we are using this optical fiber communication. If we go for the advantages of, because when we are discussing about, when we are learning the new concept, we have to, the advantages will motivate us to learn the subject. So advantages is it has a bandwidth in terahertz. So it has a bandwidth of terahertz. It can be used for long distance communications. It can be used for long distance communication in terms of kilometers. We can lay the wires so that we can transmit the information, and the loss is very less, 1 dB per kilometer we can expect. So there is a very low loss we will get in the fiber optic cable, and it is also inexpensive. Somewhat it is inexpensive. So when compared to the performance, we have to compare anything with the performance. We should not compromise with when we want to have a good performance device. We should not compromise with the price, because this fiber optical communication giving a high bit rate, because we can transmit the information at higher bit rates by using this optical fiber communication, and also we are able to transmit the information by we are using light signals. We are transmitting the information by using light signals. So we are converting our information here into a light signal by using some transducer. So till now, whatever subjects we are discussing, we are encountering the transducers. One day we will discuss about the transducer, so that we can clear all the concept why the transducer is involved in all the topics. Because in the last also we have using the antennas, also we have discussed about the transducer. It also involved in the transducer. It also involved in the amplifier design also. We will discuss one day about the transducer. If I discuss the structure of the optical fiber, so if I want to discuss about the structure of, we are going to discuss now the structure of optical fiber. So In the name itself saying that it is an optical, so it is a glass. So having some, it is a have some fiber. So we will represent the structure of this optical fiber. So it is looks like in a cylindrical shape. So it will be in a cylindrical shape where this is made up of glass. So we will also give the definition of, we call this as a core. It is a core of the optical fiber to protect, where it carries the information in the form of light signals, which only through the core only information will pass through, and will be having some another material where we call it as a cladding. So it makes our light to stay in this core medium. It tries to protect the wave to not to travel outside of the medium. We'll be having another medium, so which is called as a core cladding. It is a buffer jacket. We call it as a buffer jacket. So what buffer jacket is, protects our overall fiber optical communication in terms of environment, because we will lay down these communication cables in the open environment to protect our cables from the environmental interference. So we have to make this buffer as a protective layer which protects both core and cladding, where this core is made up of. So when we go for this core, when we discuss about the core is made up of a pure glass. So highly purified glass is used for core. This core will transfer the information. It transfers or carries. We can say that it carries the information in light pulses. It carries the information in the light pulses, and also it has high refractive index. We will also discuss about what is refractive index. So it has high refractive index. So it is a pure glass material where it carries our information in terms of light pulses with a total internal reflection. We will also discuss about the total internal reflection in this video only. So this function of job of the core is to carry our information. So we have to discuss about cladding. This cladding makes wave or a signal to propagate within the core. Please write down the important topics in our notes so that it will be helpful for you while revisioning for a competitive exams. So this cladding will make the wave to stay within the core, so that it will travel. The wave will travel to the source to destination without any loss in the information. Finally, so it is also made up of a glass, and it has less refractive index compared to, I said less. I have to compare with something. It is less than something. It should be, so it is compared less than to core. So the refractive index of the core is less than to core. And if I go for this, if I discuss about the buffer jacket, it is a protective layer. It is a protective layer which protects us from environmental. It protects the core from the environmental interfaces, and this made up of a plastic. So this buffer jacket will provide, as it provides the fiber optic cable from the environmental interference. And if we go for if you want to discuss the more in detail regarding this optical fiber communication, we need some fundamentals about the optical theory. So where optical theory, where we'll use some laws to where we use some laws to discuss the working principle of this fiber optic communication. So without wasting our time, just let's start the next theory. So basics of wave. Keep the heading as basics of. So basics of optic theory. So we are going to discuss about the basics of optic theory. So when we are going to discuss optic theory, so we have to discuss about the incident wave, light wave. So I am here. So initially I said that if we have a core, followed by a cladding, which also followed by a buffer jacket. If I take a two-dimensional view, a cross-section view of the fiber optical cable, so I will get that if I assume it is a glass medium. So I am assuming there is two mediums available. So it is in a glass medium. I am assuming that it is a glass medium having a refractive. I am representing the refractive index as a N1, but it is a refractive index of the glass medium is N1, and assuming that the refractive index of the air is N2. It is a medium 2. I am assuming it as a medium 2, and I am denoting it as a medium 1. And also it is a normal to the surface. It is a normal to the 90. Normal is nothing but 90 degrees to the surface. So if I given any input to the signal, so if I given when I incident any wave, if I on the torchlight to the input this section, it with an angle which makes a θ1 angle with respect to the normal. Always we measure the incident angle. We also call it as an incident angle with respect to the normal. So when I incident this wave, the wave will also travel. So the wave will, based on the refractive index changes, some part of the input will be refracted. This wave called as a refracted wave, where it is called θ2. It is we denote it as call it as incident wave. So it is a refracted. It is a refracted wave or refracted signal. Why I am saying always signal? Because it conveys anything which conveys some information. We call it as a signal. So some part of the input will be refracted, and also some part of the input will be reflected to the same medium. It is also we have also discussed same thing in the radar. When I incident some wave will be reflected, and some part will be transmitted to the next station. So the same theory will also applicable here, and where to find the relationship between the incident wave and the transmitted wave, we use a Snell's law. Snell's law finds the relationship. Snell's law gives a relation between the incident wave and the transmitted wave, where we donate from Snell's law. From Snell's law, we can write that N1 sin theta, where my incident angle is, I am assuming it as sin θ1, and is equals to refractive index of the second medium into sin θ2. So this is about the Snell's law. How do we find the relationship between the incident wave to the refracted wave? It is a refracted wave, not a reflected wave. So when I increase, we can observe something. So if I make some observations here. So by using some observation, I can find few things here, because if I increase the incident angle, let us assume that the incident angle is, if I increase if I want to increase the incident angle, I want to make this wave towards this medium 2. So if I want to increase the incident angle by default, so it directly affects the refracted wave also, because the refractive wave, I have assumed that the refractive index of the first medium is greater than the refractive index of the second medium, because I assumed that the refractive index of the glass is neta 1 and the refractive index of the air, where the refractive index of the air is 1, where the refractive index of the glass is 1.45. So if I increase the theta 1, of course the theta 2 also increases. If I increase the theta 1, then the theta 2 also increases. So if I keep on increasing the theta 1 for a particular angle, for a particular angle of incident, for a particular angle of incident, this reflected wave travels to the interface. The reflected wave will traverse through the interface. Then this incident angle is called as a critical angle. That incident angle is called as a critical angle. This incident angle called as a critical angle, where theta 2 becomes 90 degrees. Then where a theta 2 becomes a 90 degrees with respect to the interface. From the Snell's law, neta 1 sin theta 1 equals to neta 2 sin theta 2. We know that when sin theta 2 is 90 degrees, where the sin 90 is equals to 1, the maximum value is 1. And also I know that because of per particular angle, when the angle with respect to the interface the angle of the refracted wave with respect to the interface becomes 90 degrees, then the incident angle is called as a critical angle. We say that we have to find sin theta c equals to neta 2 by neta 1. When I want to find the critical angle equal to sin inverse of theta 2, sin inverse equal to neta 2 by neta 1. It is very important, a useful concept for discussing about optical fiber communication. When you want to discuss the working principle of optical fiber communication, which is very important. So I am again repeating this concept. When I keep on increasing the incident angle, the refracted angle also increases. So for a particular angle, for a particular increment in the input and incident angle, the output, the refracted angle will become parallel to the interface or becomes a 90 degrees to the interface. Then the angle of incident is called as a critical angle. So which have many applications with respect to the optical communication. So if I want to discuss again, if you can observe, let it as the observation 1. So let go for observation 2. If I do an observation other 2, if I keep on increasing, if I increase my input or incident angle greater than c, then what happens? Then the wave will be turns to the first medium itself, right? Because it's angle of the incident, because when angle of incident, I said that when angle of incident theta 1 is increases, then the theta 2 also increases. If I increase the angle of incident greater than the critical angle, then by default this wave tries to enter into the first medium itself. This concept is called as the total internal reflection. We call this concept as a total internal reflection. It's a total internal. The incident wave is completely reflected into the medium, so there is no wave, because always this refracted wave we call it as a wastage of the signal, which is going outside of the medium. So this we say that this concept as a total internal reflection, because if I assuming that it is a core, we will also discuss the functionality again. So if I assume it is a core, if I assume it is a cross section of core. So if I assume it is a cross section of core, when I insert the angle with a particular angle, if I insert the angle for a particular angle which is greater than the critical angle, then the Actually, usually when an angle will less than the critical angle, the wave will transmit and some wave will be reflected. If I increase some incident angle more than of it, then the wave tries to flow through the surface parallel to the core. But I am here, I want to increase the angle, the incident angle, the more than the critical angle, then the wave will become a total internally reflected wave. Then even this is for this angle, for this medium, for this input, it will act as an input to this medium. Then because this wave input also will be greater than the angle of this incident wave also be the greater than the, when I find with respect to the normal, this theta 2 will be greater. I am assuming that this theta 2 also greater than the critical angle, then this wave will be reflected. Like this, the wave will keep on flowing through the core medium without any losses. When we say that there is exist a loss, when the wave goes outside of the medium where we expect the refracted wave. For a lossless medium, the refracted wave should be, for a lossless medium, the refracted wave should be 0. The wave should be completely internally, should be totally internally reflected, so that this is the functionality about our optical fiber communication. By using the total internal reflection concept, this optical fiber communication works. Because of that, it is able to achieve higher data rates, because this wave is transmitted by using the optical pulses, because of light is traveling with the velocity of light, so that because it is able to reach the maximum bit rates, and also because of having the total internal reflections, so there is no losses because of TIR. We call it as total internal reflection. It is having a very lossless, we can say it is a very lossless, and it can be used because of it is a lossless, because it can be used for a longer distances. This is all about optical fiber communication. This total internal reflection makes the optical communication very powerful, and because of that, it is used by many industrialists to achieve higher data rates and the fast operation of applications. This is all about optical fiber communication. We will also discuss other concepts. In the next video, we are going to discuss about the division, the classification of optical fiber communication. Also, we will also discuss about the acceptance angle, and also we will derive a few equations, so that it will be helpful for your competitive exam. And if you like these videos and the way of my teaching, please subscribe to Jananayatha Adda, and don't forget to click the bell icon so that we don't miss any updates. If you have any doubt regarding the concept, and if you want any other videos to want to prepare by me, so please comment in the comment section so that I can answer you as much as possible. And only one thing I am expecting from you guys: please prepare well for a competitive exams. Don't waste your time for other people, and don't invest your time unnecessarily on other resources. So prepare well, be confident for preparing for examinations, and stay safe, stay happy, and please share this video to all your friends so that they can also learn, and you can learn the concept very much. So, and in the next videos we will also solve the problems related to all these topics. So stay connected to Jananayatha Adda and subscribe to Jananayatha Adda. Thank you for watching this video.